Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca Sterlacki, and I'm the District Supervisor for Visual and Performing Arts, Piscataway Township Schools. And I'm super excited today to be talking with a former Piscataway visual art student, Mia Tomasino, and she's with us today. So hi, Mia. And she's going to talk to us about some of her experiences growing up doing visual art, and then beyond high school, and then something really awesome that has recently happened. Mia was a featured artist creating portraits alongside another one of our Pway alum, visual arts alum, um, creating portraits of the students that were the finalists for Kid of the Year, a program that was uh, co-sponsored by Nickelodeon and Time, that aired recently and was hosted by Trevor Noah. So this is a super exciting thing that Mia was a part of, and we're so lucky that she's here to talk to us. Mia, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about your experience um, growing up in Piscataway and doing visual arts here.
I'm Mia Tomasino. So I've always loved to draw. My favorite thing to use for a medium is definitely colored pencil, and I've been drawing since I was in kindergarten. And until high school, I mainly just drew cartoons. Like I loved doing Disney, like all that kind of stuff. But then high school really changed how I viewed art. So throughout all 4 years of high school, I worked with Miss Amy in her drawing and painting classes. And I didn't really have anything that I could use in a real portfolio. Like I said, I mainly just drew cartoons and just like fan art, stuff like that. And but drawing has always been my passion, and it PHS has helped me to experiment with new mediums and new subject matter and really find myself as an artist. I experimented with charcoal for the first time, oil pastels, color pencils, so many different things when I was really only working with marker and pencil to begin with, and I really fell in love with colored pencil. And it helped me to build a really strong foundation in art making because I didn't really have any experience with creating real pieces and I didn't know anything about shading or composition. And drawing and painting, like taking these classes and working with Miss Amy was just such a huge part of helping me develop my skills. So drawing, painting one and two have really helped me to get the core foundation, such as like I said, shading and values. And then when I went on to AP, I learned about how to really make a successful piece and plan out a piece and build a portfolio. And with the help of my teacher, I was able to enter my work into competitions and I was able to get recognition. My work has been published and I've won awards. And my favorite was I was once displayed in a museum alongside with, I think it was two of the other students in my class, and it was just a great experience. And I really hope that every student in Piscataway in the art program is able to have an experience like mine because it's honestly such a core part of who I am today. And I just have so much appreciation for the art program because it seriously has helped me so much. Like, I just can't even explain.
Awesome. Can you just, we're going to have students checking this out from all of our schools. And I'm wondering if you can just tell us what schools in Piscataway you went to before PHS.
I went to Randolphville Elementary School. I went to MLK Intermediate School, and I went to Quibbletown Middle School. And I had Miss Flanagan. Miss Flanagan, if you're watching this, hi.
Hey, awesome. Awesome. Very cool. So when you finished at PHS, when you finished with AP and you finished senior year, can you talk to us a little bit about what your plans were after graduation and maybe a little bit what you're doing now?
So Miss Amy, that's if you don't know Miss Amy, she's my teacher in high school. So she was actually my mentor for, I forgot what it was called, but it was, I took this class and I had to pick a teacher and I was basically teacher's assistant and I was able to, what'd you say?
Student option.
Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot what it's called.
That's okay.
So I was actually Miss Amy's student option and I was able to work with her and help her to just organize materials, help her with some like lessons. She had me teach a few lessons myself. And I actually am planning on being a teacher myself. I was very inspired by how much I was able to like find out about the art program and really work one-on-one with the teacher so much. I've never really thought it was possible to get where I was. So that's why I decided that I want to be a teacher and provide that encouragement to students in the future as well. So in college art is very different. So I mainly take art classes. I've had a few education classes, but the art classes are very different than high school because um, they're more they're more based on learning rather than pieces, like creating finished pieces. I took one drawing class and I only completed two finished pieces. The rest of it was stuff that she didn't really ask us to finish anything. Like we just had quick sketches as homework. Like it wasn't any, like I didn't work with color, nothing like that. And I actually felt like I was very prepared for those kind of classes. And Miss Amy always called it paying our dues because we already covered a lot of stuff in high school that was covered in college, but I in college it was different because I experimented with completely different things. Like for example, I took 3D art and I've never done anything like that, and I was in there using a huge saw, cutting wood and making these exhibits that were like based on architecture. Like I've never done anything like that. I've only done drawing. So it was very different. I learned how to weld. So I was welding metal rods together. Like it was just that part of college is like that's where it really differs because you're not just working on one specific like medium, you're really just trying everything, and it's crazy. And it's a lot of work, but it's really worth it because that it really helps you to it kind of forces you actually to step out of your comfort zone, and you have to try something new and you have to try your best to succeed in it or you're not going to do well. But although it made me nervous, but honestly, I'm so happy that I just embraced it because now I know how to weld and know who knows when I'll use this stuff in the future. It's just really, really crazy and it was fun.
Awesome. And so are you in your second year at school?
Yes, right now I'm a sophomore. With online classes, I obviously don't get to do all this crazy welding and stuff like that, but they actually have to do a lot of stuff based on things I have around me.
Hmm.
So one of my education classes, we actually do a lot of visual journals, which is something I started to do in Piscataway High School drawing and painting 1 and 2 classes, which I'm so thankful for because in all my education classes, we have to do visual journals. And what we end up doing because of Zoom, we have to use things around us to make art. So one of the things I've done is we've had to use things we find outside in order to make like little sculptures. So I use like flowers and I made a sculpture, and we've done stuff like that. We've done sculptures with food, like all kinds of stuff like that. And we had to like record it all into our visual journals.
Awesome. That's awesome. So it's been different, just like it's been different for us here, learning virtually, and but that's awesome. So and you are at TCNJ?
Yes.
Question mark. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the process and how you got involved in Kid of the Year and how that kind of came to be. And then maybe what the process was like once you were involved in that, if you just want to share that with us as well.
So in 2019, I entered my work into the NJ Teen Arts Festival, and I was selected to be one of the pieces that toured the state. I don't exactly know where it is right now, but it's currently somewhere. And so when the producers came up with the idea, they wanted to have these 5 portraits of the top 5 nominees for the Kid of the Year as a part of the set. So when they were looking for artists, they wanted to look, I think they're located in New York City. So they were looking for artists in the tri-state area, and they were looking for somebody specifically a little younger because it's the Kid of the Year. So I was contacted they found my piece in the tour, and they contacted me through LinkedIn and Instagram. And they contacted me through LinkedIn and Instagram,
Mhm.
and I spoke with the producers over Zoom, and I had my parents there, of course, because I didn't, just in case, because I don't know if it's like weird or anything, because I didn't really know them.
Right.
So they talked and they told me about their idea, and I was on board, but they gave me an insane deadline. They wanted 5 portraits in 2 weeks, and I told them that that wasn't really like a time frame that made a lot of sense. So I was actually able to recruit my friend from PHS who I worked with so much. Her name is Sarah Venturi, and she's a very talented painter. So we worked together. I actually went to her house a lot, and her mom was so sweet, and she like set us up outside, and we were able to paint together, and it was so nice. Were able to catch up, and I'm not a painter and she is, so she was able to give me tips and stuff like that. And I'm a drawer. I mean, art, like, you know what I mean. So I was able to like help her with, she had something with like with proportion she needed help with. I was able to help her with that. So it was really, really nice. We were able to help each other, and we really collaborated on some of them. Like I painted two completely like on my own, but then I had one, like I do the line drawing, she did like the finishing painting, I did the background. Like we switched a little bit for some of them for the time frame. And we actually did the filming was at her house, so we set it up and we had the producers and everybody come there. And with COVID it was a little different because everybody was like wearing masks and stuff like that, of course. But it was really, at first it was so scary because I'm painting and I have this huge camera zoomed in on my feet and my hand was trembling. I was like, oh my goodness. But it ended up being not as bad as I thought. The producers were so nice, and I was able to like build a connection with them. Like I was able to talk to them, and they were super sweet, and they were like, don't feel nervous. And they were really encouraging, and they I could tell they deeply appreciated what we were doing for them because they knew it was like a tight schedule. And it was a lot of fun. It was an experience that I was not ever expecting to have, but I really, really enjoyed. And I was so thankful I was able to work with Sarah Venturi. And the first person I contacted was my high school art teacher. I'm like, Miss Amy, guess what happened? Like, so I'm just telling you, like, really form connections with your art teachers, because I still contact mine to this day. I love her so much. And so I'm just very thankful for the whole opportunity. And I would not have gotten that opportunity if it wasn't for my art teacher, because she was the one that was like, oh, just put your drawing in this art festival. And I didn't even know what it was. I was like, okay, I'll do it, I guess. And then, so you never know what's going to happen. So just trust your art teachers and trust in yourself and just go for it.
Awesome. What was it? I'm just wondering what it was like maybe for you and your family and people you know to see your artwork and see you on TV. What was that like?
It was so weird. So my best friend from college was texting me. She's like, is this your artwork on TV? I saw it in a commercial. I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you, because I couldn't really tell anybody until that week
Right.
of that it was broadcasted. I had to sign like forms and stuff. And me and my dad were watching it together because my mom wasn't home. So me and my dad were watching it. And then my dad and me were just like jumping up and down. We're like, oh my God, that's my artwork. It was crazy. And my face wasn't in it or anything because they filmed me. So they filmed this painting. They didn't film our faces, but they filmed my hands, and my nails were painted red. My dad was like, oh my God, that's the red nail polish. That's you. That's you. Like he was freaking out. And my grandparents were sitting there. They're not technology, like they're not savvy. So they're sitting there taking pictures of the screen and sending it to all their little friends. It was so surreal because I never thought I would just see my artwork, and it was on there for the whole time. And one of the winners of the show, I painted her, so they brought her into this room, and my painting was all framed. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my painting. And my dad and me were just going crazy. It was amazing. It was so like, I don't even know. It was just like surreal. It was awesome. And me and Sarah were texting the entire time. She's like, oh my gosh, did you see that was your hand? I was like, oh my gosh, there's your hand. It was so funny. I loved it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. So this sounds just like such an awesome experience. And it's so nice to hear that your experience in Piscataway has helped you, do this and be in school to eventually teach and give back, which is so awesome. Um, what do you have any other advice for any of our young artists that you want to share with them, or words of wisdom that you may have learned along the way?
Okay, so this is my advice. So this specific piece of advice is very important to me because it took me a while to learn. So I really think that every student should really not fear getting pushed out their comfort zone. Like I know it's scary, but step out of your comfort zone. I started to in high school, and I continued to do so in college. Like painting was totally not my thing. Like I felt like I was a bad painter. Like I did not have any confidence in my painting skills. But when I got this opportunity, I was thinking to myself, like, I would regret it if I passed it up. So I'm gonna just embrace it, and I'm just gonna go for it. And I really recommend every student just having that attitude of just going for it, because I was scared, but I successfully was able to deliver what they wanted, and my work was on TV. And I know that every single one of the people watching this will be able to accomplish great things. You just have to push yourself and just go for it. Like I know it can be scary, but it's just so rewarding. Like the final outcome, you never know what you're able to do. But if you're stuck in this like zone where you're like scared and you have to stay in your comfort zone, like you're not going to be able to get those places. So just go for it. Like that's one of the most important pieces of advice I can give. And another one is make personal connections with your teachers. They're there to help you and they have so much knowledge. Talk to them, like get to know them and get to like talk to them. If you have ideas that you're unsure of, they'll be able to help you. Just go for it. Like I said, I Miss Amy was more than a teacher to me. She's also like my friend and she was a mentor, and she's somebody that I can go to if I ever had a problem. And that's what your teachers can do for you. You just have to talk to them, just because I'm sure they'd like to hear you talk. Just talk to them. Like they're not scary, I promise. And also my last piece of advice is create a LinkedIn account or an Instagram account. LinkedIn is basically an online resume. It's like a professional website if you don't know, and you're able to. That's where I was able to get contacted for multiple job opportunities. And for Instagram, I also made a professional like account. My Instagram is mainly for displaying my artwork, so I don't really post like pictures of myself and everything like that. It's mainly so that people can look at my art. And that's how, so when I was talking to the producer of the show and telling him about my friend Sarah, he was able to go on her account and able to look at her art to see if he wanted to recruit her onto the project. So I recommend if you want to get commissions or anything like that, I get a lot of offers for commissions through Instagram. So just find a way to display your artwork digitally and let people be able to see it.
Awesome. Awesome. I also think it's so nice that when you were given this opportunity, you called a friend that you were in art class with in high school and made this collaborative thing, which is something that's hard right now in COVID. Like it's hard to be super in person collaborative, but that's what we do in the arts. Like we find our friends that make art too, and we do it together. Like that's what we do. So I think that's a life lesson you gave by just telling your experience. So that's really cool. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up today?
I just want to say that like I genuinely appreciate like the whole like I appreciate what you do as the Piscataway art program, because honestly, like I said it before, I'll say it again, like the Piscataway art program has helped me like grow as a person and an artist so much, and I would not be who I am without it. And I just have so much appreciation for like the staff and all the opportunities I was able to get through it. And I just hope that all the students are able to have that same appreciation and notice how much is done for them.
Well, thank you. We're grateful for you for coming back and sharing your experience with us. And you know, it's so nice for students to see somebody who has come before them and is paving the way for them, actually. So thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for sharing with us today. Um, and we wish you the best, and we hope to talk to you more and hear all about the great things that you continue to do, and see you as an educator one day. So. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.